Okay, so Rurouni Kenshin Season 2, Episode 23, which is also the season finale. I feel like I have a lot to say, but first, yes, I shaved my head again. It's okay. I've done it before. It'll grow back. I'm sure somebody will still comment about it. Anyways, let's get into the episode and just talk about Season 2 as a whole, in general, the overall experience, and some things that we can look forward to going into Season 3. So the first thing we need to talk about in this episode in particular is Hoji. All right, there's a lot about this character that is great, psychotic, also incredibly intelligent. And he's just an interesting character to look at that is very different than a lot of our other major characters in the series that we have, you know, swordsmen and ninja, samurai, police officers, street fighters. We have all of these different kinds of, more battle competent characters. And then we have a guy like Hoji who really is the man behind the scenes. He is the guy making the plans and hoping for Shishio's ultimate victory, believing in Shishio so much that he doesn't even care what happens to himself. He sees the vision, he sees the goal, he knows what he has to do to help orchestrate everything, and he's not afraid to even stand up to Shishio. Just the fact that he's, not a fighter whatsoever, the fact that he's completely physically weak towards Shishio, he's subservient to Shishio, and yet at the same time, for Shishio's greater good, he's willing to stand up to the man himself and say, no, actually, you should do it this way. And that takes some balls. He saw everything go down at the purgatory, at the Rengoku, whatever you want to call it, and now he is stepping up to talk about what would be in the best interest for the group, where the way that he sees it is that their battleship was kind of their ultimate secret weapon. That is now gone, and so now it's going to take that much longer to rebuild, and the biggest asset that they have is the Jupongatana, is the 10 swords. And Shishio's original plan was to have Kenshin, Saito, Sanosuke show up at their location and basically have this battle royale, have the 10 swords versus these three characters. And in doing so, obviously, numbers-wise, they would completely overwhelm Kenshin's group, but also, there's a lot of members of the Jupongatana that, although they are powerful, they just aren't up to Kenshin standards. And so, a number of them would be defeated during this process. And Hoji looks at this like, we cannot spare even a single member of the Jupongatana right now. They're basically all we have. And so Hoji offers the alternative that we keep our strongest members here, the top three, Sojiro, Usui, and Anji, and everybody else goes and attacks the Aoya, because this entire time that Kenshin has been in Kyoto, basically everybody helping him behind the scenes was the Oniwaban group, and they've been a valuable asset to Kenshin this entire time and were pivotal in stopping the Kyoto fires. And it's like, if they're still around, if they're still doing their little deeds, that's not going to work well for us. We need to eliminate them at the same time. We can't allow them to regroup. We can't allow them to come up with an alternate plan. Like, Hoji is on point during this moment. But the big crux of the scene comes later, where Shishio gathers all of the 10 swords together into the room. And now remember, all of them are a little bit suspicious and pissed off at Shishio because they didn't know that they were going to be part of the distraction of the fires, right? They didn't know about Shishio's warship. They didn't know Shishio was planning to sail away and leave them all in Kyoto while it burns to the ground. So Shishio, depending on how you want to look at it, was using them as a distraction, was using them as pawns, was using them as disposable assets for that plan. And so they have a bone to pick with him here, right? And while they're all here, Shishio says that that whole thing was Hoji's plan. Putting Hoji on the spot and making him take the fall for what happened with the Kyoto fire. And right there, that was Shishio's test of loyalty number one. But also it was a power play in the fact that Shishio, although he knows completely that Hoji is right and that his plan was not as good, he still has to maintain that leverage, that authority, that showcasing, I am still above you. It's like, are you going to take the fall? And Hoji did. Threw his right-hand man, the man that did nothing but ever believe in him, under the bus. But he did get through the situation, although not without his fingernails. Now, in the 90s anime, Usui breaks Hoji's fingers instead of ripping off his fingernail. And personally, I like that choice better. Fingernail thing can also be painful, but it is a little bit, I don't know. There's just something, I think, more visceral about seeing and hearing a finger break than taking off a fingernail. But regardless, Hoji has taken the blame for that, and now Shishio declares, okay, this is now my plan, is that we are going to split the 10 swords up, the 3 strongest will stay here, and then everybody else will go to the Aoya to eliminate the Oniwaban group, and that is currently the plan. And on the opposite side with Kenshin's group, we get a lot of great moments here. There are new additions that the anime put in, with Kenshin going to see Master Hiko once again. That part is not in the manga or the original anime, so that was cool to see. And Kenshin also comes across one of Shishio's men unknowingly kind of wandering in the wilderness. The guy that was having reservations about the whole thing and attacked the child, and he's kind of like, you know, distraught and just not sure what to do with himself or the rest of his life, you know? He doesn't really know what he stands for or what he believes in, and after everything that went down, he's just kind of lost, right? And so running into Kenshin is probably the best thing to ever happen to him, because if anybody knows about trying to turn your life around and seeking redemption, it's Kenshin. And without even knowing his story, Kenshin gives him some great advice of, no matter what happened in the past, you are the only person that is in charge of how to live your life moving forward. So that's your ultimate choice. You can live in this pain and regret all you want, but the choices that you make and the things that you do moving forward are going to help define your life from this point forward. As in, we don't need to be attached to that specific moment in the past. You can move forward and do better things. Other good things can come out of whatever kind of pain that was caused originally. And so, you know, it's exactly what that character needed. And for an original character that wasn't in the manga, that has a really small arc, I thought it was a really good moment. And of course, we also have the final moment where all of our main characters have happened to stay up all night. First, it starts out with just Kenshin sitting on the roof, looking at the stars. Kaoru shows up. They have a nice little moment together, which is great because they really haven't had many scenes together in quite a while. And then I love how Yahiko shows up and he's like, Kaoru, what are you doing? Just kiss him already, you know, making the situation super awkward. And then one by one, Sanosuke, Misao, every character ends up staying awake because nobody can sleep that night. They know that the next day is going to determine all of their fates moving forward. And so they're all awake and they're all in it together. And I love this camaraderie that they have. And particularly, I love the moment in the next morning where Saito comes to pick them up. And Kaoru tells Kenshin that we're going to go back to Tokyo together, and Kenshin agrees. And that's such a great moment considering where we left them, let's say the season finale last season, where Kenshin is like, I can't be around you. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't want to put you guys in danger. I'm going off by myself. And Kaoru was, you know, too distraught to even say anything back. And now we have definitively Kaoru saying, you're going to come back to Tokyo with us. And Kenshin saying, that I am. You know, it's great. But unfortunately, that is the end of the season. And it cuts off right before the absolute insanity of the rest of the story. Because basically, the Kyoto arc from here on out is just non-stop battle. So that's what season 3 is going to be. Now, if you look at where this season leaves off and you compare it to the 90s anime, the 90s anime has about 16 episodes left in its Kyoto arc. Now, assuming that we get 23 episodes next season and factoring in all of the added material that this anime has been doing, changing things up. Also, I still keep holding out for that Shishio backstory adaptation. I really do think that season 3 will be all of the Kyoto arc. I don't think we're getting past the Kyoto arc. I don't think we're getting any of the Jinshu stuff. So that's the thing that longtime Kenshin fans have really been waiting for, because the Jinshu arc has never been properly animated. And so everyone wants it to get to the Jinshu arc because we've never seen it, right, in animation. But if you look at what we got, I really don't think that we're getting to the Jinshu arc next season. I could totally be wrong, but just given the time factor of the 90s anime, this anime, factoring in added material, I think season 3 will be Kyoto arc part 2. And for anybody watching Kenshin for the first time that was maybe hoping for more battle, more intensity with season 2 with the Kyoto arc, well, we're right there. like from this point forward, we've basically completed 2 acts of the Kyoto arc. And the third act the climax is all of the intense battles. And so that's what season 3 is going to be, which, you know, I will say this also, is that comparing season 2 to season 1, I think there has been an increase of quality by far. I think the animation and direction was much better than season 1. I didn't have nearly as many gripes and nitpicks with this season as I did the first season. So if that continues, and if they can get like a bit of a budget increase and improve on what they did this season, I think we're in for a really phenomenal season 3. Like, the Kyoto arc is my favorite arc in Kenshin, and these final battles, you know, it's not a spoiler at this point, like fighting Anji, Usui, Sojiro, Shishio himself, it's great. It is some of the best stuff in the entire story. Aoshi, you know, the rematch between Kenshin and Aoshi, like, it is so good. And I just can't wait to get to it. And then stepping outside of that a bit, I do just want to really thank you guys for watching these videos. Now, I said in my very first season 2 Kenshin review is that I wasn't going to do episode reviews because, in all honesty, I really want to stray away from doing episodic reviews and chapter reviews on this channel. I just don't really want to be like a chapter review, episode review kind of channel where it's just me sitting in a chair talking about a thing. I like making, you know, more scripted videos, longer, more in-depth videos, bigger breakdowns, and particularly videos people can come back and watch time and time again. Usually when it comes to like episodic reviews or chapter reviews, you know, you might watch it for a day or two after it came out, and then it falls into the void of YouTube and nobody ever watches the video again. And I just don't want my channel to be filled up with all of these videos that nobody watches, right? So that's my own little rant there. Especially when it comes to Kenshin, I mean, they're my least viewed videos on the channel, and like, I don't really get great views as it is. I might have one-off video that does really well, but generally my videos are kind of around like the, you know, 2K, 3K view mark at best. And so, you know, Kenshin, you know, it struggles to get even 1,000 views per video. So it really was not something I was planning on doing whatsoever for all of those reasons. But you guys were really supportive, and you guys sent in super thanks on almost every single review. So thank you guys so much. You don't know how much that helps out. Like, just a quick behind the scenes thing is, like, sometimes when you say you do YouTube, people automatically assume that you're always doing well financially. That's not the case at all. Not with me. And so every single piece of support, you know, has really meant a lot to me. And whether it's $1 or $5 or $10, like, you know, whatever it is, it means the world to me, man. And the fact that you guys would actually care that much about my reviews and my opinions on this series, and the fact that you would want to support me like that in order to get them, you know, really means a lot to me, man. I just really didn't think about it that way. I didn't think about like how much it mattered to people, I guess, what this old man has to say. And so I really appreciate it. And because of that, you know, I'm going to make a vow to you guys that season 3 of Kenshin, I'm going to review every episode again. Just, you know, for you guys, man. Like, you guys were here for the long haul. You supported from review number 1. You stayed week to week for 23 weeks. And even though, you know, episodic reviews and chapter reviews aren't necessarily my main focus on this channel right now, you know, I'm going to do it for you. Now, season 3 has been green lit, but I don't know exactly when we will get it. We got season 2 only a little bit over a year after season 1. So I know some anime take like years and years and years. I mean, look at One Punch Man season 3. How long has it been? But Kenshin season 2 came out pretty fast after the first season. So we'll probably get it, I would assume, in 2026, maybe at the tail end of this year, but who knows? Until then, though, I appreciate you guys being here. Thanks for joining me on this journey. And all I can say is the best is yet to come, because the finale of the Kyoto arc is amazing. And then if they get into the Jinshu arc, it's going to be one hell of an experience. So thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it so much. If you can't wait, I'd say, you know, check out the 90s anime, man. Season 2, you know, it's great. But other than that, guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate you. I'll talk to you later.